Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Football Everyday, your weekly dose of football chat and banter, coming to you live and direct from the studios here at Menara Star. Hello there, I am Zack, and in the house we got the usual Football Everyday crew, the Adidas corner, we got Nelsen, we got Shebby Singh here, and in the well-dressed corner here we got me, Zack Yusof, and we got Brian. And we're here to run the rule over all the things that have been happening in the world of football. Obviously this week it's International Week, so no Premiership football to talk about. But will that stop us? No, because we're going to start with the Prem, and we're going to start with Spurs, Shebby. Still rooted at the bottom of the table with less points than what Derby had same time last year. 5 defeats out of 7. Shebby, we've all heard everything about, who's to blame at Spurs and whatnot, but let's try and do something different. Let's try and be constructive. What can Juande Ramos do to get out of this hole that he's in?
Well, I think for one, let's look back at the last performance. Yes, Hull City got a fantastic goal from a free kick, but I thought for the rest of the game, Spurs dominated, created enough chances to win the game.
That's right.
So I would say that, looking at that game, there are positives. Perhaps we've hit rock bottom and now we're going to rebound. And I feel that way. And for Juande Ramos, I mean, once again, is, pick your team sensibly. It's, no more playing the blame game. Whatever happens will have to happen in January during the transfer window. Right now, it's time to get down to work. And I think, Juande Ramos will have to look into the squad, because he's already told certain players that they will not feature this season, which I think is quite ridiculous, because I think Kevin Prince Boateng could come into central midfield alongside Tom Huddlestone to provide that platform for the attacking players to play, because at this moment in time we've got too many attacking players in midfield, so no real balance. So Juande Ramos, put on your thinking cap, because you are a very good coach, and let's get on with it.
Well, Nelson, I got to bring you into this conversation, mate. January seems an awful long way away. I mean, Sheb was saying, one day's got to wait until January, but can he hold on to January? Will the board give him time to sort of get stuck into the team? I mean,
I won't know if the board will give him time, but I think they should. I really think they should. I don't think they should be too hasty in getting rid of him. I mean, he has proven track record, and I think he's just come into the club. Although it's been like 8 to 9 months. I think you need to give him a bit of time. Don't make the same mistake. Well, I wouldn't call it a mistake with Yol, but you know what I mean. I know football comes with pressure, but like just now what's happening at Bayern Munich with Jurgen Klinsmann now. I mean, just because they're a big club, and they don't get results in in 4 or 5 games, and people are saying that look, he's going to get the sack. It's time for him to go, and I think it's not fair. I mean.
Especially, I agree with Nell there. He should be given longer, especially that Spurs got into a lot of trouble courting him, and then eventually got him. So I'm sure they'll be patient. I mean, if I was Daniel Levy, I'll be patient. I'll say, all right, we've got another 3 games, but if there's 2 defeats back to back, then we'll have to reassess the situation.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, he's the decision might be taken out of his hands. Should this losing streak continue? But Brian, let's get you into this, mate. I mean, we're talking about Spurs. We're talking about attacking players, like what Shebby said just now. Spurs got abundance of them, but yet they haven't got a lot of strikers. We heard this week that Pavlyuchenko is injured now. How big a blow is that going to be, mate?
I think that's a big blow, because I think Bentley isn't exactly turning out to be,
Well, they played him at right back last week, so that was quite mystifying. But yeah.
I think it's all we've got to blame the British government, because they are coming down hard now on the migration laws and all that, and some of these players have decided to go into hiding. I mean, where's Chorluka, Modric, Santos, Bentley? Well, Bentley, I mean, he's a British citizen, he should be more prominent, but the others, we can understand why they've disappeared.
But Shab, do you think the decision in the start of the season to sell Robbie Keane and Berbatov, 2 of your good strikers, 2 of your best strikers, do you think it's coming back to haunt Spurs now?
Very much so. I mean, you cannot replace such quality. No way. I mean, that is why Liverpool paid big amounts of money for Robbie Keane. Sir Alex Ferguson paid big pounds, for Berbatov. I mean, that is what big, super big clubs are thriving for or looking for. And here, Spurs just let them go. So, Brian, the thing is here. I mean, I question the ambition of the club. Daniel Levy will be very happy because he's got about 50 odd million from just 2 players, and don't forget we let Defoe go as well. So the ambition of the club here. So I think more than most people, I think Daniel Levy should accept responsibility that, you know, I am the one, you know, who's not let this club move on.
Okay, well, great stuff, but we're going to have to take a little break now. When we come back, more Spurs chat. Also, we're giving you some details about our contest, the Star Tiger FC Road to Barcelona contest. 2 more questions for you there. We'll be right back after this break.
Wow.
Hello there, welcome back to Football Everyday. Okay, top of the show, we were talking about Spurs as a crisis club. I'll tell you who's another crisis club. Newcastle United, 3rd from bottom. Lots going on there, none of it good. They got a good result against Everton last week, Shebby, managing to come back from 2 goals down. But has that really just papered over the cracks?
No,
we saw, speaking of crack, you saw Joe Kinnear having a expletive-filled rant
You want to
in his
repeat what he
first
said?
Yeah,
I don't think we can repeat it on TV.
What are they calling
I mean,
him now, Zach?
This whole climate of fear and paranoia surrounding Newcastle, Shep, can't be good.
No, not at all. But I look back at that performance against Everton, and there were a lot of things that I saw that reminded me of the opening day of the season. I'm sure Brian will correct me if I'm wrong. At Old Trafford, where they played against Man United, and they played ever so well. I thought I was beginning to see shades of that in terms of not only the quality of football, but their togetherness, the
Yeah, they
team
were
spirit.
organised,
I mean, the work rate of each individual. So I think, you know, that no matter what people say about Joe Kinnear or what, you know, but I think, you know, he might just be the right person, because there seems to be a change in mood, and they are now showing the promise they showed in the first game. So I think, you know, they have less problems than Spurs.
Okay, good stuff. Well, we're going to take a little break from the football chat and get into the Star Tiger FC Road to Barcelona contest, where we have 2 more questions for you. And you know, you got that chance to go to the Clásico in Barcelona. What a great prize. My man Nels has got all the details about this competition.
Yep, thanks Zach. Star Tiger FC Road to Barcelona contest is of course into week 5. The contest once again runs for a total of 8 weeks, alright? 8 weeks. We're into week 5 this week. And of course, what you got to do to take part is to look out for the entry form in the Football Everyday pullout that comes out every Friday, alright? Once you got the form, catch our podcast on a weekly basis, and that's where you get the questions, compile your answers, answer a simple slogan, and then send your entries in. And of course, you stand to walk away with the grand prize of a trip to Barcelona to catch the El Clasico between, of course, Real Madrid and Barcelona. And you also get a chance to get a shot at picking up one of these great prizes: signed Arsenal jerseys, signed Barcelona jerseys, loads of Tiger FC merchandise as well. And of course, like I said, we're into week 5, and it's a numbers game this week, so you want to listen very, very carefully. My man Brian now has got the questions for you. So here we go.
Thanks, Nelson. Okay, we've got 2 crackers here. First question. There are only 2 managers who have managed 4 different Premier League teams. Alright? That's 4 different Premier League teams. Name either one of them. That's the first question. Okay, the second question is, which current French international has played for 5 different Premier League clubs?
Oh, I know that one. I do.
You're disqualified.
The keyword here is current. Which current French international has played for 5 different Premier League clubs?
Okay, good stuff. Well, if you know the answers to those questions and all the others that you've been compiling faithfully, get them all together, watch this show, get the other questions, and stand your chance to go to Barcelona and watch an excellent game between Real Madrid and the arch rivals Barcelona.
Yeah, but don't worry in case you didn't catch Brian, because we'll be giving you the questions again just before we leave on segment 3.
Yes, we will. Well, back to the football chat, boys. You know, we've been going on about crisis clubs. It's all very negative. Let's get a bit of positivity in there. Hull City. Sheb, I know you like this kind of team, right? They've come into the Prem. They've played like they've been there forever. this success story of the season so far.
Definitely, and credit to Phil Brown, because I think he's made a lot of difference. When you get promoted like that, you look at the squad that you have, and you think I've got to make some additions, but there are coaches or managers who've come in and made maybe the wrong additions, but he's done well. I mean George Boateng in midfield with his experience and his leg work. Giovanni, he might be a luxury player, but somebody who can produce that moment of magic when it's needed.
And the goal against Arsenal.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And Daniel Cousin, I mean, we might not have heard too much of him, but up in Scotland with Rangers, he was banging in the goals. So they've come in, they've brought in different qualities and the element of surprise as well. And he's added that to an already settled squad. So top man Phil Brown.
Okay, well, it's all going great. It's like a party up in Hull at the moment. But can they cope once the results start to turn, which they will do, Shebs,
Inevitably, there's going to be a bit of a spell.
Every party has to end, mate.
Yeah, and that is where I think the experience of players like Giovanni and Boateng will be crucial. But again, Zach, they've got 14 points. All they need is a few more. Just double that perhaps. Or win another 7 games, and they'd be safe from relegation, and then they can push on from there.
Great stuff. Well, we're going to take a little break now. When we come back, we're going to talk a bit more about some teams that have been catching our eye in the Prem, namely Man United, and we have to talk about that certain team in red from the other side of Mersey. But we'll also be looking at some international fixtures going on this weekend, so keep it right here on Football Every Day. Welcome back to Football Every Day. Okay, instead of talking about Liverpool, we decided to do away with Liverpool.
Since Daryl's not here, right?
Yeah, since Daryl's not here, we don't feel the need to big up Liverpool. So let's talk about United, who have strung 2 back-to-back wins together, meaning that their championship challenge has finally started. Sheb, you've been impressed with the way they've started to play now, right?
I have been. As much as I'll never ever forgive Berbatov for leaving Spurs, I would wish him well. And I think he has settled into the team. There's flashes of intelligence in that team. Yes, maybe it's too early to compare him to Cantona, but every time he drops into midfield, he sets the others playing.
Yeah.
I think these are once again exciting times for Man United, and I'm sure Brian's nodding his head in agreement.
Well, Brian, the interesting thing is that Fergie's always said that yes, you can play the famous four, the fantastic four of Tevez, Rooney, Berbatov, Ronaldo in one team. Do you agree with that?
Well, it was proven over the weekend. I think they did fantastic, especially when Tevez came on. And what Shebby said, I think Berbatov is proving to be a really good buy. Though I know some United fans claim that he's a bit too lazy. He's got that.
I think Brian, that is his style. He's got this languid, very laid back, relaxed style of play. But don't be mistaken by his body language, because his mind, is working faster than most people's minds.
What about his heart, Shebby? I no doubt that he's a good footballer, but is he the sort of guy that gets stuck in, when the chips are down? Is he a fighter?
He is a fighter. For Spurs, we've seen him involved in enough, to suggest that, he has got that edge to him as well. And Man United, when Sir Alex Ferguson buys someone, I think that character is one of the top criteria apart from the technical skills. And he's got it. When he needs to, I tell you what, he'll stick his boot in.
Okay, what do you reckon, Nelson? You're a United fan. Are you pleased with the way United finally started to gel?
Yeah, definitely. I think what we mentioned last week, Brian said that to win the league, to be top, to come out tops, you need a little bit of extra, that little bit of character, which I think United are starting to show. They've always had it more or less, but I think especially against Blackburn, to come away from Ewood Park with a win, I think they were played in the rain as well. To score. The first goal was a bit iffy, but they're stuck in there. They kept on going. Yeah.
Also the fact that I think
They
Rooney
got the
is
second
starting
goal.
to score these days.
He seems to be enjoying his football again.
3 in a
Brian.
row, and you take a load off Ronaldo. Last season, United's success was basically dependent on Ronaldo. I think if the other players could actually take a burden off Ronaldo, it would be helpful for the team.
But boys, I have this worry that they've left it a bit too late. We've seen Liverpool and Chelsea streaming ahead. Have they left it too late? Can they still play? Can they still catch up, make up that ground that they lost?
Definitely, but I think what's key is, as well as for United, what's encouraging is that they've played 2 big games away already this season. Against Chelsea and against Liverpool, of course. Not good results, but I think they've got that out of the way, and they've got a game in hand, 3 points behind, right, Shebby? I'm sure you agree.
And to think, that they have been playing quite a lot this season with a kind of a makeshift midfield. I mean, with the likes of Carrick being out, Hargreaves also being out, and now Scholes is out for a long term. So having, with these kind of players missing, and yet, they are beginning to show that brand of exciting football. I will never write them off. I mean, they'll be up there fighting for the championship.
Okay, fantastic stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, this weekend there's no Prem football for us to enjoy. Instead, it's international weekend. That means a whole host of football being played all across Europe, international style. Nels, mate, you got the fixtures there. Any matchups that catch your eye?
I think we all know which one. It's England versus Borat, man. England versus
come on,
Kazakhstan. Yeah, that's happening at Wembley. And I think another one that we got to look at, is Germany against Russia.
Okay, well, just in case you were wondering what we're talking about, these are World Cup qualifiers we're talking about. That's it, the road to South Africa actually starts now. Brian, mate, Germany versus Russia. I mean, this is a tasty matchup. Yeah. Would you tune into that?
No.
And why not, mate? No United players on show, is it?
Not really. I'm not really a big fan of the German football team. But Russia, I mean, they really caught my eye during Euro 2008, especially Andrei Arshavin. And I was hoping that he would actually make the trek to the Premier League. That didn't pan out. But I think he's their star player, and I think he's going to run the midfield show.
Okay. Well, quickly, just before we go, as promised, we have to repeat the questions for the... I love the title of this contest.
Week
for the
5?
Star Tiger FC Road to Barcelona contest. And without further ado, here are this week's 2 questions.
Okay, listen carefully. First question. There are only 2 managers who have managed 4 different Premier League teams. Name either one of them. Okay. Second question. Which current French international has played for 5 different Premier League clubs?
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you very much, Brian. And that wraps up the show for this week. But we will be back next week. Same time, same place for more of the same. So until then, enjoy your football. Goodbye.